All right, this is going to be part 2 of Notes 25 graphing lines. We've got 3 more to get through, G, H, and I. And each one of them is a little bit different, but G and H are kind of similar in terms of what they're missing. So question part G, we have our slope, right? We've got the 3/5. We know that's our rise over run. What we're missing is there's no y-intercept. There's no place to start. So when you're missing the y-intercept, you need to be able to think of something that we could add to the equation that won't actually change the original problem. And the only thing that can do that is if you add 0. So when you look at your graph here, we've got our x-axis here, our y-axis here. What we're going to need to do is start at the origin. All right, so adding 0 doesn't change anything. So we're going to go ahead and put a little point here on the origin. And then we're going to follow slope like we would normally. All right, so from our origin, count up 3, 1, 2, 3, count to the right 5 units. And we can do it again. So I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, to the right 5. And because it's me and I want to make sure that I've got as many points as possible, I'm also going to count down here. And what I mean by that is when we have a positive slope, right, both pieces are positive, you can count up and to the right. You can also count down and to the left. And so that's what I'm going to do. So back to the origin, and then I'm going to count down 3 spaces to the left 5 spaces. So down 3, left 5, and I can do it again, down 3, left 5. Now, all of these points still create one single continuous line, which is why we can do what we did. All right, so plane connect the dots through those fabulous points. A little bit messy, but we'll take it. Arrows at the end because, of course, lines go on forever. All right, so that's part G. How about part H here? Part H, we're missing part of our slope, because in this case, our slope is only the number -2. So remember, you can write that as -2 over 1, or you could have 2 over -1. Either one is the same thing. And then as far as we're also missing an intercept here, right? We just talked about this. So we can go ahead and add a 0, okay? So starting off at the origin, okay, there's the origin. Oh, and I'm also going to label the x and y axes because why not? And so from here, I'm going to count either down to right 1. Okay, that creates a little point here. Or I can count up to left 1. In either case, I'm creating a line with a negative slope, which is what I had originally. All right, so from the origin, let's go ahead and count down to right 1, and I'm going to keep doing that. Especially when these points are this close together, I like putting as many as possible. So I've run out of grid going down and to the right, so I'm going to now start going up and to the left. Do you have to? I've said it before. I will say it again. The answer is absolutely not. For me, because I'm drawing this by hand, I put as many points as possible so that when I play connect the dots, I'm pretty accurate. All right, just to hand sketch that in. Little bit of wobble to the line, but you get the idea of that's what it looks like. All right, so that's G and H. Let's take a look at what fun surprises part I has in store for us. And the fun surprise for part I is that's not written in the right format. And the problem is we need it to be written in the right format to be able to get our intercept, to be able to get our slope, and so that's what we're going to do. I am going to solve this equation until it says y equals, which means that I want to isolate that term. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to start by subtracting 2x. This 2x term is positive, so to get rid of it, I'm going to subtract. Cross the equal sign, do the same thing. At the exact same time, I'm also going to get rid of that -15. So I'm going to go ahead and add 15 to both sides. These two terms have nothing to do with each other, so subtracting and adding them at the same time, you are more than welcome to do that because they will not interfere with each other. So 2x minus 2x is gone. We're left with 5y. Minus 15 plus 15, that's gone. So this equals this 0 plus or minus those pieces. That 0 is not going to change anything. So minus 2x plus 15. Okay, now we've got y, the variable y on this side, but it still has a coefficient. So let's go ahead and take that coefficient out by dividing. But when you divide, you must divide every single piece of the problem by that 5. So every term has to be divided. So 5y divided by 5 just leaves me with a y. We're going to take that negative 2x divided by 5. Now that one is not going to divide. So I'm just going to leave it as negative 2 over 5 times x. And I have to, of course, take positive 15 divided by 5. That divides perfectly into 3. So now this equation is written in the form I want it to be written in. I am going to go ahead and graph it using the exact same information that we've been dealing with. So we have a lovely slope here of negative 2/5. We have a starting point here of positive 3. So let's say here's my x-axis, here's y. Of course, where are we starting off on the y-axis? So plus 3. And then using our slope, I'm going to count down to the right 5 units. And I'm going to do it again, down to right 5. At the same time that you have negative 2 over positive 5, this is identical to positive 2 over negative 5. So instead of counting down and to the right, I'm going to go ahead and count up and to the left. All right, we're still going to create the same line. All right, so up to left 5, up to left 5. And play connect the dots. All right, there's my line arrows at the end because, of course, that line doesn't stop when the graph stops. All right, so that's the end of this video for graphing lines. If you have any questions or concerns, of course, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.